The latest trailer for Pokemon Sun and Moon was released on October 27th, and it revealed a lot of awesome stuff. It was probably the most exciting, at least for me anyways, but we got the final starter evolutions confirmed, a look at the cool new Island Guardians, and the epic return of Red and Blue all grown up. On top of that, we also got a look at Wally and Cynthia returning to something called the Battle Tree. Assuming this will be like the Pokemon World Tournament from Black and White 2, it will have you facing some of the toughest and strongest trainers from across the regions. Since we've already seen Red, Blue, Cynthia, and Wally there, we think it's safe to assume that there will be many other iconic trainers making their way in there. Helping me out today is my good friend MysticUmbreon. Say what's up, Mystic.
Hey, what's going on, guys? As Whoop said, we've gathered 10 trainers that we want to see return. Some of these are champions, some are just plain evil, and others are fan favorites that didn't get much game time. This list will not be including any gym leaders though, because odds are, if they did include one leader, they'd include all of them. And rather than stuffing all the leaders into one spot, we decided to eliminate them all together.
Right, what he said. Also, just a side note, we aren't saying we don't want gym leaders to return, we're just simply excluding them from the list. Besides that though, I think we pretty much covered everything. This list is our collective opinion and yours may differ from ours, so if it does, let us know the characters that you are dying to see make a return down in the comment section below. And with all that finally out of the way, let's get started.
Rolling, I can never get enough. I've been up too long and I way too drunk, but we straight up in it and we feeling.
First up on our list, we have the champion of the Hoenn region himself, Steven Stone. Steven has always been one of my favorite characters ever since I was a little kid. He just always gave off this like cool uncle vibe, you know?
No, not really.
Maybe it was just me then. But anyway, Steven would be an excellent addition to the battle tree, and seeing an Alolan Steven would be really cool as well. As for reasons why he ends up in Alola, it could possibly be a reference to his love for stone collecting. He could be visiting to find some volcanic gemstones such as obsidian or something. Of course, for his team, he would have to bring along his signature Pokemon, Metagross. Possibly even a Mega Metagross, since Mega Evolution is making its way back into the post-game. As for other members, I could see him bringing a few classics along, such as Aggron, Skarmory, Cradily, Armaldo, or Claydol. Maybe even some new Steel and Rock types that are being introduced in the Sun and Moon games.
Next up, we have the Don himself, Giovanni. Before you get the wrong idea, at the start we did say no gym leaders, but Giovanni is more than a gym leader. He's the leader of the evil team, Team Rocket. I don't think there is any universe where we wouldn't want Giovanni in the games. He's just a cool thug, what can we say? Giovanni could be scoping out the Alola Islands for a new and improved Rocket base. By his side will be his signature Pokemon Rhyperior, along with some other possible teammates like Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Persian, Dugtrio, Alolan Marowak, or pretty much any ground type new or old, since he typically rocks with a full ground team.
Personally, Silver is my favorite rival to date. There's just something so cool about getting to see him grow and learn as both a character and a friend. Seeing him years later all grown up would be amazing and serve as a little update to how his life is going. We also don't really know a ton about Silver, and in the recent episodes of Pokemon Generation, they seem to have brought him back up, as we find out that Giovanni is his dad. Imagine a father-son fighting duo in the battle tree. Unlikely, but still a pretty cool thought. As for what team he has, this would be a little trickier because he is a rival and therefore chooses his signature Pokemon based on whatever starter you picked. His team is relatively well-rounded, but if he were to appear in the battle tree, I would like to see him bring the starter Pokemon you are weak to. So for example, when I pick Rowlet in the upcoming games and face him, he would end up having a Typhlosion. As for other team members, he could bring back his Gengar and Alakazam from the original games, as well as his Crobat. Since Crobat evolves from Friendship, I would consider this to be sort of his signature Pokemon, as Silver learns Friendship throughout the game.
Another trainer that would be really cool to see return is AZ. In my opinion, X and Y always felt like they were kind of incomplete, so bringing back AZ to have even just a little more light shed on him would be awesome. It doesn't have to be in-depth either, maybe just something that serves as a little nod, you know? Like some quotes in battle, or by bringing along his signature Pokemon, AZ's Floette, to battles. As for other teammates, I think it would be cool if it was just Floette, since, you know, he kinda sacrificed a ton of Pokemon, so why would he get 5 more? But if he were, I think they would bring back his Torkoal, Golurk, and Sigilla from X and Y, and maybe a few new Pokemon introduced.
Okay, coming up next, we have my boy that was last seen floating around the underground, Cyrus. Now before you say, what? How could Cyrus come back from being in the distortion world? Well, my answer to that question is, I have no idea. But regardless, this is Pokemon. I think Cyrus is one of the coolest villains to ever exist, and seeing him return would make me so happy. Like, honestly, I think he might be a little bit cooler than Giovanni, but I don't know. Might just be his sick blue hair that I'm digging. Anyways, I would love to see his Honchkrow and Weavile return, maybe even his Crobat and Houndoom, and a few other new dark types that are introduced.
The Elite Four doesn't count as gym leaders, right, Whoops?
Nah, I think we're good there. Why? You want to include Lance, don't you?
Of course. Lance is one of the coolest guys out there, and we included Steven for being a champion, so I think Lance is fine here. Lance is the king of dragons and probably one of the most suave dudes out there. I don't know about you, but I have always loved Lance and his cool vibes. Like he was the cool kid in class everyone wanted to be friends with. We'd love to see him with the signature and illegal Dragonets. We think this would be a cool little nod towards the early games where his Dragonets are under level 55 when Dragonair is supposed to evolve. As for other team members, pretty much any dragon type would fly here. Get it? Because a lot of dragons had the flying type.
Yeah, I did get it. Anyways. Next up, we have another dragon type user. Not really a leader, but just a user. Zinnia made her appearance in the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Delta episodes. She seems to know a lot about lore and the backstories of Pokemon, so she could be making an appearance in Alola, researching various lores and everything that she enjoys. As for her team, she's rocking that Mega Salamence that would be cool, I guess. Not a huge fan of the Croissant Dragon, but to each their own. I'd also really like to see Hawk-Mow on her team though, and maybe bring back just a few dragons.
Chorus has always struck as a pretty big fan favorite, and he honestly was. He also seems so cool and calculated, even if he was supposed to be a bad guy. You just couldn't help but grow fond of him. That's one reason we decided to include him on our list. Chorus has been referenced as traveling around in the Kalos region by a backpacker on Route 10, who says that Chorus visited a few years back. So what's stopping him from visiting the Alola region to conduct research there? As for a team, he would have to have his signature Pokemon Klinklang, and also some of the still psychic Pokemon he's fond of.
Our 9th spot of evil team leaders we want to see return. Wait, I think I meant to say trainers we want to see return. Well anyway, Archie and Maxie are taking this spot. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1. I wanted Archie and Mystic wanted Maxie, so we decided to come to a compromise and include them both. Archie is obviously the leader for Team Aqua and would rock with Sharpedo and maybe a mix of poison and water types, while Maxie is the leader of Team Magma and would be running with the Camerupt and some fire and dark types mixed in there.
Last up on our list we have N, or Natural Harmonia Gropius. But we're just gonna stick with N. N could have a really cool gimmick where instead of bringing a set team, he could replace this team every time you battle him, like he did in the Black and White games.
Since the odds of that happening though are a little unlikely, some more stable or static team members he could have would be the Zekrom or Reshiram, Zoroark, or maybe even Klinklang. Other than that though, N doesn't really have a super static team, as in the games, he kinda releases his Pokemon after you battle him each time. I mean that's good for ethics I guess, but doesn't really get you anywhere.
Wow, this has been one entertaining video so far.
Mystic, you can't use that over here. I already used it over in your video. Which, by the way, you guys can go check out. There will be a link down in the description taking you to Mystic's video, so go click that. But while you're down there, make sure to hit that like button as your support is greatly appreciated. Also, while you're down there, make sure to let us know what trainers you'd like to see make their comeback, or if you even like the battle tree. Maybe you weren't a huge fan of the Pokemon World Tournament, and you probably won't be a huge fan of the battle tree. Let us know why down in the comments. Personally, I think it's really cool, and I like seeing trainers return. It's like a little update, you know? I don't know, but that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure to go check out Mystic's video, subscribe if you're new, like the video, all that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.